As of recording this video, ranked is almost here. It has returned to Pokemon Pocket, so I'm going to give you a smattering of really good decks that you could bring in and start winning right away for your ranked climb. Jake, your resident content cowboy here. Yeehaw! Let's do this thing. I want to start with some of our Megas, and I want to talk about Mega Altaria first. Mega Altaria is extremely powerful. The deck we were taking a look at is played by a player named Eloquitas in a recent tournament. Sorry if I got that slightly wrong. There are a few versions of this, but the basic idea, of course, is filling your bench. You have Chingling to really annoy your opponents and slow them down so you can get your Mega Altaria online. We have Indeedee EX, so you're able to heal anything in that active spot. We also have a base Altaria, so we can deal with some of the nonsense from our opponents like Oricoro, but the real power here is getting Altaria online very quickly, getting it into that active spot, and doing a ton of damage. Altaria is super strong, a ton of HP, and depending on how you play it, you could sort of pace out your opponents, wait for them to get a couple of KOs, hit them with a Mars, still move in because we have a ton of basics in this deck, and do insane damage. Another cool option for this deck is from a player named Capichu, and this deck not only has the Mega Altaria Jirachi going on with it, it also has Relicanth. Relicanth is there almost exclusively as an Oricoro counter, which it does very well. It also can fill your bench so that Altaria can do some serious damage. These decks are very fun, and I would say the play pattern of Altaria, I think the cool thing about it, in my opinion, is it's sort of a patient, almost counterpunch deck. However, if you're going really fast and your Chingling is slowing down your opponent, you also can get extremely aggressive with that free retreat, move in, and then finish them off. Now let's talk about Mega Absol, a very cool card that is extremely strong, able to attack for only a couple energy as a basic. You can often use Absol as something to start the match, but depending on how things are going, you can also use Absol to finish the match. We are looking at a version of this deck from a player named K-Tech. This has two Pichu, Oricoro, Absol, and Darkrai. So this really allows you to set up your Oricoro, of course, with Pichu, or power your Darkrai with Pichu, and then let Absol do the work in the active spot once you're ready to finish them off. Or again, if they're going kind of slow, you can get Absol in there early and do some serious work. It has Red Card as well, which I think is really good for this deck. It has, of course, multiple copies of Cyrus, Giant Cape, just really, really strong. Getting the Pichu early is incredible. Oricoro answers a ton of meta threats, and then you can decide how you want to dispatch them with either Absol or Darkrai. Next, one of the first decks we built is the Absol Hydragon. This version is from a player named Deester. I wanted to show you another version of it here. This has, of course, the Dino, one Zweilous, and then the Hydragon, Mega Absol, and a base Absol, which I think is a cool way to run this deck. A lot of the power you're getting out of this, of course, is going to be Hydragon. Mega Absol is there to clean things up, also be a bit of a damage sponge depending on what is going on. And Absol can set up some big plays by taking out benched Pokemon or setting up really nice Cyruses. The big threat here, of course, is Hydragon. So much damage, able to power itself. It's the new Rampardos, and we needed a new Rampardos, didn't we? Finally, I want to show you the Absol Chingling sort of poison package. This has two Nihiligos, two Chinglings, and two Mega Absols. This is from a player named Zero. It's a really cool setup. It has a couple of poison barbs as well. So you set your opponent up to hate dealing damage to you, and you are frustrating them with things like Chingling and Nihiligo. Mega Absol, of course, is there as your big damage dealer and the thing you use to finish your opponents off. Ideally, you can shut them down long enough so that you can red card them and then start Mega Absoling them, and they'll never be able to get their stuff online. Even when they do, any small amounts of damage they do to you, they're going to get punished for it in a big way. Next, let's talk Mega Blaziken. Mega Blaziken, extremely strong, crazy amounts of damage for only a couple energy, and it also pairs well with that new Flame Patch. The version we're looking at right here is Blaziken Heatmore. I just made this version the other day and put it up on the channel so you could take a look at it. The thought process here, of course, is you can lose as many points as you want until it's time to get Blaziken in there, and Heatmore, of course, allows you to KO a lot of the squishier Pokemon on the enemy team, a lot of the babies and things like that, the Magikarps on the other side. But it also creates really good moments where you can chip at one of their Megas, bring it in, and have Blaziken finish it off. Blaziken Entei is another combination that works decently well. I think on the ranked ladder especially, this will be a solid combination, even though in tournaments it's had up and down results. This version is from a player named Papa Gamer. It has Torchic, Blaziken, and 2 Mega Blaziken, as well as 2 Entei. The idea with the single Blaziken, of course, is this allows you to deal with a lot of other meta threats that Mega Blaziken can, or if you would just rather have another point to give while you are waiting to get Mega Blaziken, base Blaziken is really, really solid for that, right? Of course, we have multiple flame patches in these decks. You absolutely have to. Mars, Cyrus, Lily for that Mega Blaziken, couple of Professor's Research. A solid deck. You want Entei in the active spot, and then you can sort of move around and make your decision between Mega Blaziken and base Blaziken. Next, let's talk about Mega Gyarados. Mega Gyarados is the weakest Mega in the tournament scene, but it's still a really powerful card once you get it online. This deck is basically Mega Gyarados or bust. There are a few versions of this that I've seen run base Gyarados and things like that, but the version we're going to take a look at is Mega Gyarados with Milotic. The cool thing about this, of course, is Milotic will allow you to heal Mega Gyarados in that active spot, and if you have a Mega Gyarados with a heavy helmet on it and some healing in the back, it's going to be hard to destroy this thing. And if you get it online early enough, which is what you're looking for with things like Mantike, if you're getting it online early enough, you can take your opponents down. Of course, it is the toughest Mega. Energy requirement is the biggest reason for this, right? The other 2 pack Megas are all 2 energy Megas. In fact, most of the other Megas are relatively low energy, Gyarados being the highest one. Next, I want to talk about one of my absolute favorite cards in the set, that is Jolteon EX. This is from a player named OJ Itik. Had a recent run in a tournament. Hopefully I'm getting the name right. Apologize to anyone's names I'm not getting right. We have another version of this up on the channel as well. I think I have like 3 Jolteons because I just like it so much. This is a cool version where you are getting extra power from Zeraora. You're of course using the new Eevee right into Jolteon EX in that active spot. You can use an elemental switch to move energy up. But in general, the amazing thing about this deck is it really annoys your opponents every time they're putting energy on their cards. They are taking damage, whether they're on the bench or in the active spot. You can then use Cyrus to pull them into the active spot. It's just one of the most fun decks and easily one of my favorite decks this entire season. I cannot wait to play it in ranked. It's just so fun. This is that new Luxray Oricoro deck. This has both Luxrays in it, right? So you're able to use either the one that does crazy damage to any Pokemon, or the one that does a lot of damage in the active spot and then damages your own bench. I think the cool thing about this, and the reason this deck does decently in tournaments, is you have this sort of finisher move from the old Luxray, and the new Luxray, you can deal a lot of damage in the active spot, while still, even when that goes down, you can Volkner the other Luxray, which I think is really incredible. And it has Oricoro. The great thing about lightning decks are you can always just slot in 1 or 2 Oricoro to give yourself enough time to mess with your opponents. And if they have no Oricoro answer, it's going to be really tough for them. We're going to stay in Oricoro Valley here for just a moment with Magnezone Oricoro. This is Magnemite, Magnezone, Magnezone. Obviously, with a Magnezone deck, I remember at one point someone saying, why don't you have any rare candy here? It's because of how unbelievably good Magneton is, allowing you to generate your own energy. This also has Oricoro and Chingling. Just incredibly strong, incredibly annoying. Magnezone able to power itself. That's fantastic. Oricoro stalling a lot of decks out and then allowing Magnezone to finish it off. Plus, this has Chingling, which is just an unbelievably brutal, annoying Pokemon. Next, a deck that I haven't played much this season but has been consistently great is Silvally Oricoro. This version right here is from a player named Woozy. I like that they have Copycat and things in this deck, like a couple new things, but mostly it's Silvally Oricoro. Incredibly strong. Silvally is broken. Oricoro is broken. So, you know, with these 2 cards together, you are an absolute annoying monster for your opponents. I think the addition of Copycat in this deck is one of the coolest things about it. Obviously, this works with Silvally's ability, but Copycat is just great in general. You can allow yourself to use all of your cards possible, your Pokeballs, Giant Cape, Rocky Helmet, just get everything you can out of your hand. Then you can use your Copycat and still do all of the extra damage. A deck that's been floating around for a little bit here in this new meta is Decidueye 2 times. It's Rowlet, Dartrix, Decidueye, and Decidueye EX. This is from a player named Cosmo, and it's been extremely powerful. I think the strong thing about this is being able to snipe with the base Decidueye or being able to finish things off with Decidueye EX. Incredibly powerful card, and it works pretty well into a lot of the meta threats. One of the biggest things is if your opponents are setting up their Mega and they're not online yet, the base Decidueye can stop them from ever getting those cards going. And even if they get their Megas, Decidueye EX has a crazy amount of HP with its Leaf Cape. You're allowed to disrupt your opponents a ton, and then when it's time for them to fight you, you're actually extremely formidable. Finally, I want to talk about Suicune Greninja. I mean, I had to save it for last. I hate this deck so much, but it is so unbelievably good. There's probably 10 versions of Suicune Greninja, Suicune Greninja EX, Suicune Greninja, Giratina, like everything you could possibly think of exists. This version is from a player named Dachoso that went really deep into a tournament, went 12-2. Froakie, Greninja, Greninja EX, and Suicune. So this version doesn't even run the Giratina. It just focuses on these Pokemon. Still incredibly strong in this meta. Ironically, a water deck that won't let you shower. Could you believe it? There are a ton of other decks that will work well for your ranked grind, and I have a bunch of other videos on the channel if you're looking for things like Hitmonchan, or you want to play something like Rapidash. I don't have that one yet because, well, Rapidash is pretty terrible. But we have a lot of different decks that you're able to play. I don't think you need to stick to the most meta things, but if you want things that consistently do well, this video has a ton of them in there for you. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it helped you with your rank climb. I'm curious from you, are you using a deck similar to one of these? Are you using something completely different? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I love you guys. I'll be back right after the holiday with some more Pocket streams, and I'll see you soon. We did it.